Greetings. I'm here to talk about my memory palace. My memory palace is started with me spending a lot of time reading various memory classes and books. The one that I would like to call the most attention to is Dominic O'Brien. He was one of the world memory champions for many years, and he has written several books. The one that I liked the most was Quantum Memory Power. And so a lot of the ideas that I'm about ready to talk about came straight from his book, so I recommend you read it. It's great. My memory palace is a 100-room palace that I store items in that I need to memorize. And the foundation of that is what I call single digits. And so I need to have a way to remember single digits quickly and easily, single numbers, quickly and easily, because I'm constantly having to remember one of something, two of something, three of something. And so I created a single digit memory map in my mind that I can remember numbers. And so let's go ahead and just introduce that concept. And so let's do that now. So first off, the number 0 in my mind, whenever I see a 0, so the number 0, in my mind is now equal to a goose egg. So I think of a goose egg whenever I think of a number 0. So if I walk into a room in my mind, and in that room I see a goose egg, I know that there's a number 0 in there. The number 1 is a candlestick. And the reason is because it kind of looks like a candlestick. So if somebody is holding a candlestick in my memory palace, or the candlestick is sitting on an object, that means it is significant. It's the first of the objects, or it's the number 1 object, or for some reason a number 1 is needed to be remembered. The number 2 to me is a swan, because the swan kind of looks like a number 2. So whenever I see a swan character in my mind, I know that's the number 2. The number 3 is a pair of handcuffs, because, well, you can't tell from this picture, but if these were to be open, handcuffs kind of look like a number 3. And this one actually came from Dominic O'Brien. I thought that was a great idea. Number 4 is a sailboat, just simply because if you kind of look at it in a weird way, you can kind of see a number 4 in the sail. And so number 4 is a sailboat. Number 5 is a snake. You might be able to see a 5 and a snake if you looked closely enough. Couldn't think of much else, but so that number 5 is a snake to me. Number 6 is a saxophone, because it kind of looks like a saxophone. And number 7 is a boomerang. You'd have to flip that boomerang image to see the 7. And number 8 is, well, of course, a snowman. It kind of looks like a snowman. Well, it's got a head and a body, not 3 pieces, but you get the idea. And then number 9 is a giant red balloon. Because if you were to draw the 9 with just a line down, not like this, you would see maybe a little bit of a number 9. So that's it. That's the basic building block of my mind palace. Now, it gets much, much more complicated than that, but this is how I remember just a number when I need to remember a number. Now, I could remember a whole sequence of numbers. For example, I could remember a phone number, or I could remember the address to a location. Like if I need to remember 1, 2, 3, I could remember like 5, 6, 3, 2. Maybe I need to remember that for some reason. Maybe that was the PIN number on my ATM card or something. So I could remember snake, saxophone, handcuffs, and swan. So the idea would be to create a story that would put those together. So snake, saxophone, handcuff, swan. Well, what story could you come up with? I was in New Orleans and I saw a snake slithering towards a gentleman playing a saxophone, which was really interesting because he was playing the saxophone in handcuffs. So I don't know how he was able to accomplish that, but a man playing a snake creeping up on a man playing saxophone and a pair of handcuffs. Oh, and that man had a a t-shirt on, and on the front of his t-shirt was a swan. So I could put that guy somewhere where I need to remember that code. Like, let's say this wasn't an ATM. Maybe this code was an alarm code, and it was an alarm code on a building that I need to remember. I could just put my saxophone kind of New Orleans guy with a snake creeping towards him in front of that building. And I would always remember that alarm code, a snake creeping up on my guy playing a saxophone in handcuffs with a swan on his shirt, that was 5632. Anyway, that was just a stupid example, but that gives you an idea of how you can use a memory technique to remember digits and numbers. Anyway, that's it. Hope you learned something from that. I'll be expanding my mind palace as I go more. Thanks. Bye.